Hello everyone, Aviva here from Ulpan Aviva, and today our lesson is going to be about smichut. Smichut is conjugated nouns. Let's jump straight into it. So what is smichut? As I said, conjunct nouns. What are conjunct nouns? Well, we have this in Hebrew as well, in English as well. Let's have a look. So what are these? These are bottles for water, or otherwise known as water bottles. Or we have glasses for the sun, or sunglasses. We have a cake made out of chocolate. Well, this we will call chocolate cake. And a book that's meant for children. This is going to be a children's book. So as you can see in English, when you take two nouns together and you kind of put them together in such a way that they almost create a new concept. We can see this especially with the sunglasses, that even in English it's one word. And there's no space between them. Okay, well, the same examples work in Hebrew. If we have a bakbuk bishvil mayim, then in Hebrew it would be bakbuk mayim. It's now almost a new concept. Or mishkafayim bishvil shemesh, we now make them into mishkafei shemesh. Uga mishokolad is ugat chocolad, and sefer le'yeladim is sefer yeladim. So in Hebrew, there are a couple of rules of how you conjunct these two nouns. How do you put them together to make smichut? Smichut is the idea of conjuncting two nouns. So in order to make smichut, we have a couple of rules. So let's go through the rules first and then see how we put them into practice. The first rule, you have to make sure that you're making a conjugation out of two nouns, not a verb and a noun. So chocolate and cake, water and bottle, right? It can't be hot water because that's already an adjective. The second rule is that you have to remove all the prepositions that otherwise might connect these two words. So a cake from chocolate, the from needs to be removed. And the third rule is that the first noun needs to be adapted if necessary. And I'll explain exactly what kind of adaptations the first noun needs to have. So what kind of adaptations does the first noun need? So let's look at the couple of rules and then see it in practice. If the first noun ends with a hey, the hey will need to be changed to a taf. That's rule number one. Second rule, if the first noun is a plural ending with im, like mishkafayim or yeladim, you have to change the im to an A sound. You drop the mem and you change the vowel from an E to an E. And on occasion, you'll also need to slightly change the vowels of the first word, but that's not very often. So let's look at our examples again. Here is our children's book, our Sefer Le'yeladim. So first of all, Sefer Le'yeladim, the preposition lamed needs to come off, and it becomes Sefer Yeladim. Okay? Or Bakbukim Le'mayim. Bakbukim bishvil mayim, bottles for water. So you drop off the bishvil, because that's a preposition, but also the im gets changed to a, bakbukei mayim. So you drop the preposition and you change the ending. So look at another example. Uga mishokolad. So again, the preposition needs to be dropped, but we also have an ending hey on the first word. So the hey we said changes to a taf, and we now get ugat chocolad. Okay. What if we take this to the plural? So instead of one book of children, we have books for children. So sfarim leyeladim. So again, the preposition lamed needs to drop, and the im turns into a. That's right. So sifrei yeladim. How about chocolate cakes? Not just one. Ugot mishokolad. So ugot mishokolad, our preposition is mem, but the first word doesn't end with hey or doesn't have im, and therefore we just drop the preposition and we have our new construct, ugot chocolad. Okay? Or another common one, a door for exiting, delet leyetziah, right? Well, delet already ends with taf, therefore we don't need to change that. That's the first word. And our preposition lamed needs to go out, delet yetziah. If you go to the cinema or if you go to a concert or anything, you'll usually find these doors, the exit doors, are clearly marked for security reasons. Okay, let's look at a couple more examples. A house for sick people. In English, we just say a hospital, but in Hebrew, it's actually a new construct. Bait bishvil cholim, which makes it into a beit cholim. So here we see that bait has changed the vowels a little bit and become, instead of bait, it's become beit. But this isn't just two nouns been put together. This is almost a new concept that's been created, and that is the word in Hebrew for a hospital, beit cholim. Okay. If we want to pluralize beit cholim, well, in order to say plural bait, we say batim, and batim ends with im. So again, the batim, the im gets dropped, and we get batei cholim, hospitals, batei cholim. Okay? Another new construct. In Hebrew, a school is made up of two words, bait and sefer, a house of book, so to speak. So beit sefer is just a construct on its own. And if we want to pluralize that, so we have batei sefer. Sometimes we can have a construct of more than one word, but we'll get to that in a minute. So a birthday is the day of birth. Yom huledet. Okay, that's a concept. That's how you say birthday in Hebrew, Yom huledet. But you can even have a construct of three words. For example, a birthday party. So mesiba shel Yom huledet. Well, the rules still apply. If the first word has a hey ending, you knock off the hey, and any prepositions are dropped as well. And therefore you have mesibat Yom huledet. And that's actually a three-word construct, a three-word new term, so to speak, a birthday party. Same about the birthday cake. We have the uga. Uga ends with hey. Ugat Yom huledet is now our new construct. Okay. What if I want to make my new construct into a specified word, a specified noun? So I don't want just to say a school. I want to say the school. Where do I put the? Where do I put the hey? So you would think that you put the hey in front of the first word, but unfortunately that is not the case. In the case of Beit Sefer, we put the hey on the last word of the construct. And I say last because, as we saw, sometimes we have constructs of more than two words, so it's always on the last. Beit HaSefer. Let's look at our example of Yom Huledet. Okay, so Yom HaHuledet, birthday, the birthday. He has the birthday of David is tomorrow. Yom HaHuledet shel David machar. Okay, and if you have the three-word construct, so it would be Mesiba shel Yom Huledet. We go back to Mesibat Yom HaHuledet, the birthday party, Mesibat Yom HaHuledet. So any changes to make the construct happen on the first word, but the specification, the ha, always goes on the last word. Same with the cake. Ugat Yom HaHuledet. Okay, Ugat Yom HaHuledet. We've got three words, so the hey goes on the last. Let's review all the rules of smichut that we've learned so far. Rule number 1, make sure you're making a conjugation of two nouns. Rule number 2, remove all prepositions. Rule number 3, adapt the first noun if necessary. Hey becomes a taf, im becomes an a, and sometimes a vowel adaptation. Next rule, to make the smichut specific, if you want to add a hey, you add it to the last noun in the list. And the last rule that's very important is the new construct, its gender, because in Hebrew we need to know what a gender of a construct is in order to give it an adjective. If I want to say a nice birthday, a happy birthday. So the whole new construct, its gender is determined by the first noun. So if mesiba is female, mesibat yom huledet, the whole construct, mesibat yom huledet nechmada, yafa, tova, it would be feminine. Okay, if we're talking about a bakbuk mayim, even though mayim is plural, bakbuk is masculine, and therefore it's bakbuk mayim kar, bakbuk mayim gadol. Okay, so we have to make sure that the gender of the new construct is always determined by the first noun. So again, only two nouns, remove prepositions, hey becomes a taf, im becomes an a, or vowel adaptation. The smichut specific, to make it specific, the hey goes on the last noun, and the gender of the new term is determined by the first noun. For more lessons and more practice, please join me in Ulpan Aviva. If you scan this barcode, you'll get to my registration page, and I've also got a Facebook page for any more updates. See you soon.